Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be going over the Chapter 8 review for the Chapter 8 test. On the first page, it is asking us to solve each system of equations and to write our answer as an ordered pair. I am going to use the method that it states on the test. You will get a point for using the correct method and a point for the correct answer for the first 4 questions. So since I'm using substitution here, I want to isolate one of my variables and plug it back in. On this first one, I can choose either x or y from the bottom. I'm going to choose just x. So I'm going to start off by adding y to both sides. That gets me negative x equals 14 plus y. I want to go ahead and divide everything by negative 1. This gets me x equals negative 14 minus y. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in for my x value from my first equation, because I've manipulated the second, so I have to plug it into the other one. This is going to get me 2 times negative 14 minus y minus 6y equals 28. I'm going to go ahead and distribute. That's going to give me negative 28 minus 2y minus 6y equals 28. I'm going to combine like terms, which gives me negative 8y equals 28. Then I want to go ahead and start off by adding 28 to both sides. I get negative 8y equals 56. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 8, which gets me y equals 7. Now that I've gotten one of my letters alone, I'm going to go ahead and plug back in. I'm going to choose the bottom equation. So I have negative x minus my 7 equals 14. I'm going to add that 7 to both sides. I get negative x equals 21. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 1. I get x equals negative 21. So my answer here is negative 21, comma 7. Number 2 again is using substitution. I am going to choose to isolate the y on the denominator because it has no coefficient and the x does. So I'm going to add 7x to both sides. This gets me y equals 7x minus 23. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in for the y in my first equation. So I have 14x minus 2 times that 7x minus 23, which equals 46. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that negative 2. So I get negative 14x plus 46 equals 46. My 14x's will cancel out, so I have 46 equals 46. This is a true statement, so it means I have infinitely many solutions. I am going to choose to set y equal to a. And then I'm going to go ahead and solve. So I have negative 7x plus a equals negative 23. I want to isolate for x, so I'm going to start off by subtracting a on both sides. I have negative 7x equals negative 23 minus a. Go ahead and divide everything by negative 7. This gets me x equals positive 23 over 7 plus a over 7. So now I can write this as a coordinate point. I get 23 over 7 plus a over 7, comma a. I could have also chosen to solve this for x equaling a. Both of these will get me points on the test. I'm just going to solve both methods since this is a review so you can see. If I start off with x equaling a, then I have negative 7 times a plus y equals negative 23. I want to add that 7a to both sides. I get y equals 7a minus 23. Then I write this as a coordinate point. I have a comma 7a minus 23. So either one of those answers will work on the test. You just have to remember to write it as kind of a system of, not a system of equations, in terms of another variable. Numbers 3 and 4 want me to solve using elimination. This is where I cancel out a term. Right now I don't have anything that will cancel out, but I do have my y's are opposite signs, and this one has a coefficient of 1. I'm going to multiply it by 9. This gives me negative 45x minus 9y equals, I don't know, 17 times 9, so let's check this out. 153. Then I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite that top equation so that it's right next to it. I'm going to add down. This gives me negative 60x. My y's cancel out. 153 plus 27 is, I think it's 180. It is. Then I want to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 60. This gets me x equals negative 3. I'm going to go ahead and plug in. It doesn't matter which equation I plug into, so I'm just going to pick the bottom. I have negative 5 times negative 3 plus 9y equals 27. Negative 5 times negative 3 gets me 15. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 15 on both sides. I get 9y equals 12. Then I want to go ahead and divide both sides by 9. I messed up. The equation I was plugging into was the bottom equation. Let me go back. So on the bottom equation, it's negative 5x minus y equals 17. There we go. So negative 5 times negative 3 gets me positive 15 minus the y equals 17. I want to subtract 15 on both sides. I get negative y equals 2. Divide both sides by negative 1. Then I get y equals negative 2. So my answer here is negative 3. Ooh, this is off the screen. Negative 3, comma, negative 2. Okay. Again, number 4 is using elimination. This time, none of my coefficients cancel each other out, and none of them are 1. So I want to change 2 equations to make them the same. I'm going to start off by looking to see if I have any opposite signs. I do. This first one is negative. This second one is positive for my x. So on the first one, I'm going to multiply it by 3. This gets me negative 6x plus 42y equals 30. My second equation, I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 2. This is going to give me 6x minus 42y equals negative 10. Then I want to go ahead and add together. My x's cancel out. My y's cancel out. So I have 0 on the left. 30 minus 10 gives me 20. This one has no solution. So again, on the test, each of these front page problems will be worth 2 points. 1 for the method, 1 for the correct answer. And moving on to the back. 5 and 6 will also be worth 2 points. 1 for showing your work and 1 for getting your answer. On number 5, it says I can use any method. I am going to use substitution. On your copy of the review, it's not going to have that 0 there. So it's just going to be 3y minus 2z. I want to go ahead and start off by plugging in this 2 for that z. I have 3y minus 2 times 2 equals 5. So then I have 3y minus 4 equals 5. I add the 4 to both sides. I get 3y equals 9. I want to divide both sides by 3. I get y equals 3. Then I can plug into my top equation. I have x, these will be written in alphabetical order on yours, minus my y value, which is 3, plus 4 times my z value, which was 2, equals 5. So I have x minus 3 plus 8 equals 5. X plus 5 equals 5. I subtract 5 on both sides. I get x equals 0. So I can write my answer as a coordinate point. I have 0, 3, 2. Remember, when I have more than 2 letters, it goes in alphabetical order. So on number 6, I can use any method again. My first system is canceled out is in terms of x and z. So on my bottom 2 equations, I want to rewrite this so I can cancel out my y's. I am going to multiply this top one by -2. That's going to give me 6x minus 2y plus 8z equals -40. Then I want to go ahead and add down. This gives me 2x plus 11z equals -55. Then I want to go ahead and combine it with the top equation I had up here. I am going to multiply this one by -1, so my x's will cancel out. That gives me -2x plus 4z equals -20. If I add these together, my x's cancel out. I have 15z equals -75. I can go ahead and divide both sides by 15. I get z equals -5. Then I want to go ahead and plug in to any of my equations. I'm going to pick this top one because it's already got x and z. So I have 2x minus 4 times my z value of -5. And this should equal 20. So I have 2x plus 20 equals 20. I subtract 20 on both sides. This gets me 2x equals 0. If I divide both sides by 2, I get x equals 0. Then I want to go ahead and plug into another equation. I'm going to pick the middle one. I have -3. My x was 0. Plus y minus 4 times my z value here, which was -5. Should equal 20. So I have 0 plus y plus 20 equals 20. I can subtract 20 on both sides. I get y equals 0. So my answer here is 0, 0, -5. Okay. Number 7 wants me to write the augmented matrix and give the dimensions of the system below. On the test, this will be worth 2 points. You get 1 point for writing the augmented matrix and 1 for giving the dimensions. On my first 2 equations, I have 3 variables. On the third, I'm missing x, so I'm going to write that 0x out front. So when I go to write the augmented matrix, I don't forget it. So remember, augmented matrices are, each row is the equation. Everything except for the last column is my coefficients. The last column are my constants, the number at the end of the equation. So I have 1, -3, -3, 8. And I have -4, -5, 1, -14. And I have 0, 3, 2, 14. This is my augmented matrix. Then I want to go ahead and give its dimensions. I have 1, 2, 3 rows, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So on the test again, this question will be worth 2 points. Number 8 wants me to use a matrix to solve the system. Again, this one will be worth 2 points, one for your setup and one for your answer. So I want to see the matrix that you're using. It's going to be 8, 8, 8, negative 8, 2, negative 28. So then I'm going to write that. The dimensions for this one are 2 by 3, which I'll need to know when I go to type this on the calculator. I'm going to go second matrix, arrow over to edit. I'm going to change my size to 2 by 3. Then I'm going to type these in. Then we'll go second matrix, arrow over to math, do RREF, then second matrix, put in the A, and it gives me 1, 0, 3, 0, 1, negative 2. I need to give what the calculator gives me back in order to get all of my points. My answer here is going to be 3, negative 2. I can tell this because in everything except for the last answer, I have a nice square matrix, and it has a diagonal of 1s. Everything else is 0s. Then it goes alphabetical, X, Y, for my answer. On the last 3 questions, these will each be worth a single point. So make sure you do your math correctly. The first one is combining them with subtraction. So I just want to subtract each of my terms. I'm going to match up my terms between rows and columns. So my first row, first column is going to give me 0 minus 3. My first row, second column is negative 3 minus 5. My first row, third column is 6 minus 7. My second row, first column is 5 minus negative 2. My second row, second column is 7 minus negative 2. And my second row, third column is negative 2. Ooh, that last point actually should have been a 0. My last point is negative 2 minus 1. Draw my brackets. Then I just want to combine like terms. This gives me negative 3, negative 8, negative 1, 7, 7, negative 3. So this is my subtracted matrix. On number 10, I'm doing scalar multiplication. So each of my terms is going to be multiplied by 4. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off by writing each of those terms multiplied by 4. Then I just want to actually multiply those out. It's going to give me 28, negative 12, 0, 20, negative 8, 4, 24, 8, 4. That's my final answer. On these questions, even though they're only worth 1 point, if you don't show your work, you will lose half a point. And then on number 11, I'm doing matrix multiplication. I have a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 3. So I can multiply these together. I am going to multiply my row across by my column down. So I have 7 times 3 plus 8 times 5. Then I have my first row, second column, 7 times 4 plus 8 times 7. First row, third column is 7 times negative 1 plus 8 times negative 3. Then my second row, first column is negative 3 times 3 plus 0 times 5. Second row, second column is going to give me negative 3 times 4 plus 0 times 7. Second row, third column is going to give me negative 3 times negative 1 plus 0 times negative 3. So I want to go ahead and draw my brackets. Then I want to do the math. So I'm going to have 21 plus 15 for first row, first column. First row, second column is going to give me 28 plus 56. First row, third column is going to give me negative 7 minus 24. Second row, first column is going to give me negative 9 plus 0. Second row, second column is going to give me negative 12 plus 0. Second row, third column is going to give me 3 plus 0. Draw my brackets again. Then I just want to combine each addition in each position. I'm going to end up with 36. I don't know, 28 plus 56. Give me a second. Gives me 84. Negative 7 minus 24 is negative 31. Negative 9 plus 0 is negative 9. Negative 12 plus 0 is negative 12. And 3 plus 0 is 3. So that is my final answer here.